Well, hello, I'm Audio. This is my glorious channel, and this is Yamamoto Isoroku's playthrough in Sengoku Rance. I'll go into who she's based on when we obtain her. And I'm going to leave all of her events in this playthrough, even though they were in my other one, because, you know, it's obviously her playthrough. They're, you know, kind of important. So that'll go. Oh, I gotta replenish my guys. There we are. The castle battles at the beginning of the game can be tiresome. We'll see how it goes. They're just really obnoxious sometimes. So, yeah. That'll have to be fine. There we go. Yeah, like 400 guards. I don't know if that's what they had before. I don't remember exactly. But the biggest issue with this is still, like it was before, it's Hara Shouji and his actions. If he single targets the front row, he's going to hit cats, and it's not going to, you know, it doesn't matter. Like, that's really unimportant if that happens. So, that's what you want him to do. He likely will not do that. He will likely go straight to a volley and piss you off. And this fight, you've got to be, you know, you've got to hit him hard, and you've got to finish it by being aggressive. You can't, whatever. So that's why I attack with cats. And I got to finish off the weaker people too, so they don't waste my turns in the battle. That's really how that goes. And there we go. Nagahide is, of course, always, in every single playthrough, shit, so not avoidable. Isoroku, I gave her Sweeping Fire in the last playthrough, so she'll be picking up Whirlwind Shot this time around. That's how that goes. Ranmaru probably could have killed that guard unit as well. But fortunately the guard unit's attacking, so it doesn't even matter. That kind of shit's great. It doesn't happen very often, though. Yeah, so I'll be able to do this on my first try, I believe, which is pretty rare. I mean, of course, if I were to fail consecutively, I wouldn't have left that in the video. It's pointless to have people watch that kind of shit, but, you know. Oh, also, in the last, you know, the time between parts, I refused Ashikage's whatever, you know, I didn't pay their tribute fee, so they're at war with me, and I spoke to Ranmaru and did something else. But I'll tell you what I'm doing off screen so you know, even if it's not particularly important or interesting, which would be why I skipped it, you know. Yeah. So that's how that goes. But I'm very surprised that I did this on my first go. In almost every other playthrough that I've had, it's taken numerous attempts. Not because it's a difficult fight, just because the guards respond differently. And if you're experienced with the game, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, though, well, yeah. This is something that I'll be doing a little differently. In this alternate playthrough, and all future alternate playthroughs, you can recruit some commanders that you couldn't. Hara Aki is one of them, and I'm going to be recruiting her. You don't get the H scene if you do this, but, you know, well, you can still get the H scene, but you need to, you know, clear her like a regular human being. Rance doesn't just rape her, you know? So that's how that goes. She is a Miko. I would say one of the best Miko in the game for army battles, and I would stand by that comment. I'll be using her effectively. In my first playthrough of the game, I didn't use Mikos at all, mostly because Fuka is terrible. But I'll use a key. I like her. And, you know, I'm not going to skip her dialogues because they're all new. Yeah. So that's how that goes as well. I'll also be recruiting Shouji. Even though I hate that guy, I didn't get him in my first playthrough, and it makes sense to pick him up here. I'll leave those two for defense against Ashikage. And I'll go talk to Aki, I suppose. But yeah, actually, A key was another one of the reasons that I selected national power bonuses at the beginning, because if you don't have enough national power, they don't give you the option. She just gets added to Rance's harem. You can't do anything about it, and you can't, you know, like, pull her out and use her as a commander. But, you know, obviously, if I'm going to recruit a key, I'm going to recruit Shouji as well. They go together, and, their events are kind of tied together. I mean, you can make some bad decisions, and you won't have a key anymore, but, you know, actually, that's if she's in your harem. Nothing bad will happen to her, but you can't clear Shouji if you've recruited a key. That's what it is. So, if you wanted to clear him, you can't do it when she's in your army. But you can clear her, and it's kind of... It's not really hard, it's just kind of tedious, and I won't be clearing her. Oh, yeah. There we are. I'm just hitting that early on so I can give Rance whatever. And fortunately it was an attack textbook, which is, you know, that's good. But, here we are. And, also, if you're using musket units, ever, this applies in any playthrough, you need to have a guard with them, or it's going to be bad. It's going to be very bad for you. You never attack with the guard. If there's a guard in the front row with a musket unit, you never, ever, ever, ever let that guard, you know, lift their guard. You always have them defend, because musket units are so expensive. They cost a lot to replenish, they cost a lot to recruit. If you've had a musket unit throughout the whole game and you've used it consistently, you've fed it units, spent gold on it, and it dies, that's all a tremendous waste. You just don't do that, so... If I ever deploy that musket unit, you know I'm generally not going to be attacking with my guards, unless it's, you know, perfectly safe to do that. And you haven't seen the musket unit live up to its potential because what has it had to deal with? Guards. It's always been redirected so far, too, which is probably another negative side effect to even having a musket unit. But I'll explain their usefulness as we go on, and of course the named musket units are much better. Takakura, she's good. She's an acceptable unlock character because she starts out with 2 flags, and very few musket units have that luxury, I guess. So that's what's up with her. Yeah. But this is going pretty quickly when I'm skipping all of that dialogue, right? So fully replenish all my people, and Akihime will inherit the popularity staff for now. Oh, I gotta go to the items screen, my bad. Just because she starts out with 150, and Miko are expensive too, you know? They're not cheap. They are in the same league as muskets. They're cheaper than muskets, but they're comparable in price. Then I'll give this to Rance. And a lot of the reasons that I held off on picking some of the items, if you get the attack bear thing, and you get what I had here, 1 book plus that book, Rance is at 8, you know, he's 1 away from being max in offense, and he's just gonna rape through everything. And you know, you'd like to watch with me being, you know, with the possibility of me failing, right? You'd like to see some of my commanders die, I'm sure. Of course, I'm going to try my best not to let that happen. I don't really have anything else to do on that screen, and we'll just go back to fighting Ashikage. Oh yeah, and I'm going to recruit the Kuge sisters too. Dosan-chan's not coming with, but the Kuge sisters will. That'll be fun. So, and Rance, I suppose. Yeah, there we go. I want to deploy cats with the musket unit because Maida, you know, the last fight could have gone poorly, but I knew it wouldn't because, you know, I'm psychic, I guess. I'm just extraordinarily lucky. Can't wait to see how the assassinations for me turn out this playthrough. I'm sure I'll, you know, hopefully I'm not damning my opportunity, but hopefully they'll turn out just as well as they did in my first playthrough. Yeah. But I will be recruiting Zeth reinforcements as well. which, you know, all 3 of the commanders from Zeth will be new for me to go over and talk about, which will be cool. And again, I'll be able to explain Miko's along with muskets because I didn't really at all before. So, but Aki is still good. I still think she's a good unit. People might disagree, but for army battles, she's great. When it comes to commander battles, her level cap is like 11, and she's probably one of the worst units in the game. So, that's how that goes. Yeah. Kojika, she's not in my plans to be recruited in this playthrough, but some shit might go down, and, you know, we'll see. This playthrough gets a little chaotic. Gets a little chaotic later on. So, actually, I probably shouldn't have done this. I could have divided my forces into 3 groups, but I didn't do that. I just attacked twice. Cats at this point still has the opportunity to solo defend with no real issue. Oh, and another thing I didn't mention. The bonus, you know, Takakura, she comes with Lure. Lure basically raises her attack power, and it doesn't consume a flag. So, you know, it makes your muskets stronger, and if they're only going to get like 1 or 2 shots in anyway, you may as well do it. I'm going to do it here. And that's annoying because they throw up a guard Shikigami immediately after I use Lure, so I've got to break it down. But, whatever. When it comes to Hojo in this playthrough, I intend to, you know, I'm not going to recruit Son. I'm not going to recruit Ran, really. Well, she, you know, I'm not going to give out spoilers for Yamamoto's route, but things that, you know, this is still an alternate playthrough. I'm going to assume that you've played the other routes and you know how the story goes. So, when I say that Ran still dies anyway, I don't expect that to be shocking. I don't expect her exploding to be a surprise to anybody. But Hojo House has 3 unique endings. They can be, I guess, destroyed in 3 different ways. You know, and I'm going to try to show one of those. In my first playthrough, I showed the one where Hojo Masakage, you know, leads in the defense. You know, there's no Son, there's no Ran. So I'm going to try to do something different in this playthrough. And we'll see how that works out. So, yeah. I don't really have anything else here, so I'll see you guys in the next part.